Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another Dead Walking Dead character video. Today we are looking at a Whisperer, and that Whisperer is of course the Captured Whisperer. The Captured Whisperer is of course male, he is played by James Parks, he is late 40s to early 50s and first appeared in Bonds. Nothing is known about the man's life before the outbreak, but after it began he was saved by Alpha, and from that day on he joined the Whisperers. The group would wear zombie skin as camouflage against the dead, and also lived amongst the dead who they called Guardians. The man was also a herd supervisor, helping to guard, gather and monitor herds of zombies. He was present at the barn when Alpha executed multiple people in front of Siddiq, including Enid, Tara and Henry. He was also a hardcore Alpha loyalist. In Season 10, the man is quite happily herding some zombies for his beloved leader Alpha. However, some zombies get distracted and head into the woods. He whispers with the other Whisperer friends he has there, and then he directs his friends away from Daryl in another direction, avoiding him obviously. However, off screen, the man is somehow captured by Carol, as apparently he saw her, but it's more likely Carol jumped him at first. She obviously zip-tied him as well. Daryl meets up with the two and is a bit mad that Carol clearly planned this. After that, the three head back to Alexandria. They arrive at Alexandria and the blindfolded man is placed in a cell. Later he basks in the sunlight before being joined by two doctors and a priest. Should be a joke in there. Although he likely knew who Dante was and thought he was on his side. Dante tells him not to try anything as Siddiq checks up on his chest wounds, and then the captured man brings up the barn incident. Siddiq, he's a bit taken aback, and despite wanting to carry on treating the man, Dante tells Siddiq to go. Off screen, Dante treats the captured Whisperer, but also poisons him with hemlock plants. It's likely the case the Whisperer had absolutely no knowledge of the fact he was being poisoned. Soon, Carol arrives in his cell with a tray of something ominous. She says, "Let's get started," and reveals her tray of bread and various things that can go on top of bread. The man seems to admire it, and Carol asks him what topping he wants. He's a bit greedy and asks for all of it. Carol tells him for lunch is salted fish wrapped in lettuce, and the man breaks, asking, "What does she want?" She replies to talk, but the man says pass. She accepts and gives him the bread anyway, and he stares and sniffs at the bread before eventually sinking his teeth into it, moaning and crying. He then devours it like a menace, and Carol asks him, "Any good?" He decides to spit it back in her face. Clearly not very good, Carol. Carol then turns to Bad Cop and asks him where the herd is. He doesn't reply, so she sticks a finger on his wound, and he screams in pain. He remarks that she is animal-like, and then suggests he would rape her if they were in the wild. Carol puts on her wedding ring and tries worse cop and beats the man with the fist that her wedding ring is on. After the beating, he says they're all weak, and Daryl takes out a knife, threatening to take various body parts, and then the man just ignores it and carries on with his rant, saying they lie to themselves and each other when it comes to them being safe. He laughs at the prospect of them fighting for sandwiches, and Daryl pins his hand and prepares to cut off his fingers, but the man carries on, saying, "You ignore the truth, even when it stares you right in the face." He says he would never betray Alpha, because she loves him, protects him, and even sacrificed her own daughter for the group. Obviously, after this, they stopped the interrogation and Daryl and Carol left, unknowing to the Whisperer, obviously to get Lydia. After they left though, the captured Whisperer began to feel the effects of the hemlock and began to chant the Whisperer motto as he sweats and shivers. Dante and Siddiq arrive, and the man specifically asks Dante to make it stop as it hurts. As the two doctors begin to check up on the man, he grabs Dante and throws up blood all over him. He screams in pain as both Daryl and Gabriel surround him to help, but then this happens to the captured Whisperer. Killed from hemlock poisoning given to him by Dante. Later on, Daryl and Gabriel are standing over his body when Daryl stabs the captured Whisperer in the head to prevent him from reanimating. Gabriel and Daryl then dispose of the body without anyone noticing. I'm not sure exactly how. Maybe Gabe burnt the body alongside Dante. I don't know. R.I.P. the captured Whisperer. The captured Whisperer is nothing more than a plot device really, but I think he wasn't badly written or anything. He is there to make Siddiq think that he's losing it more. He's there to show us, the audience, and Daryl that Carol is losing it with her revenge plot. He's there to force Dante's hand, and also he's there to show that there's a clear weakness in Alpha's way of rule. That is, that she lies to her followers. He's a pretty awful guy. I do think it could have been way more interesting if they captured a sympathetic Whisperer who's not such a bad guy, but whatever. Anyway, tell me your thoughts on the man, and I'll see you in the next one. Spin that wheel. Let's pick another character. Len! Len! We're doing Len.